Today, I want to give you the power to almost magically tap into the people who are the greatest in your field at what they do, the people who are the people that you look up to, your heroes, your mentors from afar, all of the people whose wisdom you prize so highly. And this applies, I'm going to talk to you about doing this within the field of marketing and copywriting, because that's what I do, what I've done for a living for years. But also this can apply in relationships. It can apply in health related things. It can apply across the board. Okay. And this is using a principle that I pulled out of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And it's kind of buried near the end in the area where Napoleon Hill seems to get the furthest into the mystical or woo-woo. But I actually don't believe that this is mystical or woo-woo at all. I believe this is very practical and tangible in terms of its application and why it works. So let's talk about your psychic mastermind and invisible counsel. So in the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about the mastermind principle, which is when multiple minds come together, it creates this outcome that is greater than the sum of the parts. Where two people together, it's not like 1 + 1. It's 1 + 1 plus some X factor that makes the output even more powerful. And everybody who is involved with a group like this ends up being able to elevate their own, they're able to tap into the power of the mastermind, and they're able to achieve more than they would otherwise. And the group together is able to achieve much more than they would on their own separate. And Napoleon Hill talks about this. And then a little bit later in the book, he talks about something called his invisible counsel. And he applies the principle of the mastermind, not just to coming together. Like today, you can go out and you can spend $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a year to be a member of one of these business or marketing masterminds where you have a bunch of entrepreneurs coming together and investing in themselves and investing in the connection and investing in being together in the room with like minds for the greater good. And it's absolutely worth it to invest in one of these services or invest in membership in one of these groups. However, there's a whole different level of applying this principle that you can do no matter who you are, no matter where you are, and it costs very, very little in terms of being able to benefit from this principle. And that's applying the principle of the mastermind to what Napoleon Hill went on to call his invisible counsel. And this is when you are getting into any field, you are going to recognize that there are people who are kind of the leaders in the field who have experience, who are sharing their experience, who are doing the things, they're contributing to the field. And oftentimes this is in the form of books, or it can be podcasts, or it can be daily emails and YouTube videos, and it can be Facebook posts, and it can be all sorts of contributions. I like to go, back to when books were the only option, but I also like to look at the newest media. And I go to the people who are contributing, who have something to say, who are sharing their wisdom, their experience, their failures and their successes. And my attitude around this is that everybody has something to contribute. They're not always all right. In fact, there's lots of places where I disagree with my heroes on things, but each of them is right from their own personal perspective and is right in the context of their greater experience. And they have something to contribute, some lesson that they've learned that they're sharing through that. They share this lesson, and I don't have to take it word for word as gospel, but I can pull out of that, what does this person have to contribute? What does this person have to contribute? What does this person have to contribute? And how can I assimilate all of that into me and using what I've assimilated, turn around and use that to make decisions in my own life, to take actions that would be perhaps better than if I were left out on my own to just come up with my own answers. And there's actually a practice that Napoleon Hill talks about, and it is imagining that you are in a council chambers in a conference room with your actual invisible counsel, and you go inside and into the theater of your mind, you go inside into your imagination, and you imagine yourself sitting at a table with all these people who are your heroes, and you may call in specific people for this meeting depending on what the context is, what the particular challenges that you're trying to overcome. You call in these people for the meeting, and you say, and you go around the table and like, what would you do here? 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 So for example, like my marketing council, I have a really big marketing council because I've spent a lot of time going deep with like the masters, both current and older masters of direct marketing, of marketing where you spend $1 and you get more than $1 back in return. And so, I would call in people like Gary Bencivenga to talk about how you can contribute value and proof into the marketing, into the prospects' lives through your marketing. Folks like Clayton Makepeace for how do you structure your copy? How do you structure your campaigns? How do you build this out and like focus on the underlying structure? Dan Kennedy on things like sales and negotiation and how to structure deals. Especially there. Jay Abraham on things like big picture strategy and customer value optimization and positioning and his strategy of preeminence. Eugene Schwartz on really being aware of the market awareness and how you have to uniquely speak to the people based on their level of awareness. Claude Hopkins for scientific advertising, marketing testing, and really making sure that we're rolling this out based on data and not based on conjecture or based on opinions around the conference room table. And I could go on. Halbert for like style and pizzazz and character in marketing. There's so many people. There's so many people that I can call into my conference room. And if I'm putting together a new promotion, I may only need 2 or 3 of them and say like, okay, Clayton, how are we going to structure this promotion so that we can speak to people in this very specific way? Or Jay Abraham, how do we like look through this business and take an x-ray of this business and identify the biggest leverage points, the biggest opportunities, and just go through, and depending on what the problem is, like if I'm writing a headline, who do I call in the room for how to write a great headline? What would this person do in this case? And I think the great thing about this is like it taps into all the subconscious learning and resources that you've accumulated through the years, and like maybe this like sixth sense of like knowing beyond just being able to figure it out logically, the sixth sense of knowing and like channeling these people into your writing. And I don't think that has to be understood on some mystical level. Like your brain contains so much knowledge in it, so many resources, so much learning, and you only really start to tap it like this much when you think about things logically. But when you kind of open up and let all of those resources come to you, and doing that through an exercise like this invisible counsel or your psychic mastermind, where in your imagination you're saying, how would you write this headline? How would you write this headline? And you could get 5 headlines from each of 5 different great copywriters and have them each contribute. And then you could decide based on your own experience, like which is going to work best here. And it allows you to like reach beyond yourself, beyond your own awareness, beyond your ego issues, and say, and kind of step outside of yourself and solve problems that way, which can be really powerful just from a, dealing with your own stuff, dealing with your own self-doubts. Well, if I'm thinking about how Eugene Schwartz might write this headline, I don't have to worry about how Roy Furr is going to write this headline. And the other thing, like, by having this go on for so long, one of the things that I've been able to do is I've been able to integrate that. So when you follow my daily emails, when you sign up to my training library at btmsinsiders.com, when you watch these videos, you're actually getting the benefit of my psychic mastermind and invisible counsel when I talk about marketing, copywriting, business building, entrepreneurship, selling, success principles, and so on. You're getting the benefit of my mastermind coming out in these moments where I'm riffing And I trust in the power of this invisible counsel to always be here to give you the next insight and give you the next insight and give you the next insight. And so I don't think it's that woo-woo. I actually think that this is just a really powerful way to tap into some of the powers your brain has, using kind of creative strategies for stepping out of the way and letting your powerful subconscious mind do the work. If you like this content, make sure that you like this video so that the magical algorithms know to share it with more people like you. You can also share it yourself with other people who might find it valuable, or share it on social media with your friends and followers. You can comment here and share your thoughts on this. Who's on your invisible counsel? Who's a part of your psychic mastermind? And it doesn't just have to be business and marketing, although that's where I often focus. And if you are involved with business, marketing, copywriting, selling, entrepreneurship, or even personal development, you might want to check out the links in the description where you can subscribe here. You can also subscribe at breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com to get these delivered to you by email, as well as articles that I write about these topics. And those come out Monday through Friday every day. Again, my name is Roy Furr. This has been a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. And hey, I look forward to seeing you again in your next video. I will see you again soon. Bye.